Hello, hello, hello. Turn my radio down. Hello, Chris ATL. How are you? Hello, hello. DP Life Changer. Hello. Like there's too much sun in here. How are you all today? Hey, Chris. How are you? Thanks for hopping in the room. Thanks for hopping in the room for your HR Chronicle today. HR Quick Tip. Thanks for the Purple Hearts. That's always on brand for me. Hello, hello. Good afternoon. I'm running a little bit late, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna jump in and do this HR Quick Tip, and I'm gonna get out of here. You all have a good Memorial Day yesterday. I was actually on here yesterday as well. I was on here yesterday for a few minutes. Welcome to the room, everyone. Welcome to the room. I'm going to go ahead and hop in because I actually do have to be somewhere in about the next 10 minutes or so. So this one hopefully will be an HR quick tip. But good afternoon, everyone. I am Delmar Johnson, president of Delmar Johnson Enterprise. I'm trying to stop this from shaking so much, but I'm trying to do this a little bit better. Make it a little bit steady for you. All right, let me start again. I'm Delmar Johnson with Delmar Johnson Enterprise. I am your chief HR brain with HR Brain for Hire, where I help you attract reliable people, increase your profits, and help you create simplified systems so you can enjoy your life and business again. How about that? So today, the HR quick tip, we're going to talk real quick about 5 ways to connect to your team better. Now, I was inspired by an article because I got to give a shout out to whom credit is due. I think that's a little bit better view for you guys. I want to give a shout out to a young lady that I follow on Twitter. She talks about leadership and HR and everything. Thanks for inviting followers, Chris. Her name is Megan Byro. So these were not my original thoughts, but I definitely can give my own thoughts behind it. But she did a great article on it, and I thought it would definitely be relevant for what I talk about on here, about you being a leader, about you being an entrepreneur and a small business owner, and about you building your team and everything, and you as a leader, how you should connect better to your team, right? So I'm going to take her lead on that, but I want to give her a shout out for that. So the first thing you want to have happen is it must be relevant. Have some relevance in what you do. Foot love of the king. All right now. Now that's a handle right there for you. So the first way is relevance. It's like work must be relevant. You know, guys, I always have my notes. Work must be relevant as a leader. It's important that you convey that. So whatever task and responsibilities that you are assigning to your team, it needs to be relevant. It needs to be something that they understand the relevance and how it's connected to actually building the business, and connected to building the brand. It says when task is relevant, your brand is relevant. Okay? Yeah, Chris. when task is relevant, your brand is relevant. A lot of times, if your team members doesn't necessarily get the relevance of what they're doing, they may not perform at the level that you desire them to perform, right? So the first way is be relevant. Again, when your task is relevant, your brand is relevant. All right. Number 2. Accountability. A lot of people like to kind of, shun accountability, but we're all accountable to someone. I don't care who you are. We all have to be accountable to someone or something that's going to hold us accountable. So it says some people are accountable by nature. Some people are just going to show up and they're going to do the work. Thanks for coming into the room. They're going to show up and do the work, and they're just naturally going to be accountable. They want to be held accountable. It makes them better. It helps them to grow. It helps them to expand. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for inviting your followers. And others may have to be made to be accountable. Again, I think the accountability, and this is just my twist on it, I think the accountability comes even more when they understand the relevance of what they're doing. See, these things connect. Understand the relevance of what they're doing. I think that brings on greater accountability. Again, there are people out there, team members are going to be accountable by nature, and then there's some that's going to have to be made accountable. Now, being made accountable doesn't mean that you're breathing down their neck, that you're trying to micromanage. That's not where accountability is going to come from. Accountability is going to come from communications, being able to communicate to that person where you may see that the accountability may be lacking. It does, again, it doesn't mean brow bashing or being micromanaged, but they need to maybe go back and understand the relevance of what they're doing and what accountability would do for them. How about that? So being able to communicate that. All right. Number 3, motivation. Okay, a lot of times, especially in corporate America, a lot of times employees may think that a paycheck is motivation. It is not. It may be a part of the motivation of why people show up and do the work, but it is not the sum total of what motivation is to a team member, to an employee, to a contractor, to an intern or whatever your team is made up of. A paycheck is not the sum total of motivation. Okay. So you have to take the time of actually what motivates your team. See, when you're so disconnected from your team and then you're pushing, trying to grind it out, building your empire and all this kind of stuff. But if you don't know what motivates your team, that's going to affect morale, right? That's going to affect morale. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for the hearts and thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. That does not go unnoticed. All right. That was number 3. Number 4 is trust. What's the saying? People do business with those that they know, like, and trust. Well, trust in the workplace. Okay. Well, trust in your business by your team members works the same way. There has to be trust. When it says, let me look at my notes. It says, again, a paycheck does not build trust. Just like it is not the sum total of motivation, a paycheck does not build trust. However, when your team trusts you as a leader, they will trust your brand. They would trust the power of your brand. They would trust the reach of your brand. Okay. So there must be trust between you as the leader and your team. And that's even in relationship. That's a relationship right there, right? That's just called a work relationship. Okay. A business relationship. But in relationship, when trust is broken, trust is hard to get back, right? So even in a business relationship, same thing takes effect. If trust is broken, it's hard to get it back. Especially those who have chosen to become part of your team to help you carry out your vision, expand your brand, and all those kind of things, then trust is going to be important. So that's number 4. All right, number 5. I told you this was going to be kind of quick, guys. Number 5, emotional connector. A leader should have emotional connector. You guys heard of emotional intelligence? Thanks for the purple and pink hearts. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. All right. I think everybody's catching up from Monday. So today, Tuesday, may feel like a lot of people's Mondays. Okay. So number 5 is emotional connector. So a leader must have a level of emotional intelligence, it says, to be sensitive and aware and not ignore what's going on among their team. Okay. They must be sensitive and aware to what's going on. Yes. Emotional intelligence. I think a lot of leaders, not necessarily leaders, but I think people in general, some people in general, lack emotional intelligence, because if they have those blinders on all the time, like, again, you're just grinding it out, you're building your business, or, you at a pinnacle level in your business and you continually growing and growing. But if you disconnect, if there's not an emotional connector and you disconnect from your team, again, that's going to affect morale, and that's going to affect your bottom line, and that will affect your brand. Okay. So emotional connector. A leader's emotional intelligence understands the importance of being an emotional connector, being sensitive and being in tune with what's going on with their team. All right. So let me review that for my replayers. I'm going to review that. And I thank you for jumping on replayers as well. Your hearts and your shares count as well. So I thank you in advance. Number 1 was relevance. The task must be relevant. Okay. When they understand that the task is relevant, the brand becomes relevant. Number 2 was accountability. Some people are accountable by nature. Some people have to be and some people have to not necessarily be pushed, but be made to be accountable. Again, that's not brow bashing. That's not micromanaging. That is communicating clearly about why Accountability is important, and if you communicate it properly and take it back to the fact of why the task is relevant, then the accountability will probably kick in at a higher level, right? Number 3 was motivation. I said that a paycheck is not the sum total of motivation. All right. Understand what motivates your team. And when your team is motivated, and when you understand how your team is motivated, then probably productivity is going to go up. Number 4 was trust. Trust must be there. Again, when your team trusts you as a leader and they trust your brand will go to another level. All right. And number 5, emotional connector. Make sure your emotional intelligence is up as a leader, so you'll be more sensitive and more in tune with what and what is going on with your team. Okay. They want you to know that they want to know that you care about them, and they will care about your brand. Make sense? Make sense? I think we only had a few people on here today, but I understand that people are catching up from Monday. That's quite all right. I appreciate you, Chris, for engaging. I appreciate everybody else that is on here as well, and I appreciate your hearts. I am Delmar Johnson, your Chief HR Brain with HRBrainForHire.com. Please connect with me. I also invite you to join my group, Decide, Shift, and Elevate, where we're moving forward in life, career, and business. You can find me on Facebook. I make it very easy for you to find me. My handle is @HRBrainForHire on Twitter, Facebook, and of course, obviously on Periscope on a daily basis. Thank you for being my scribe, Chris. The first one is relevance. Second one is accountability. Third, motivation. Fourth, trust. And fifth, emotional connector. Again, this was an article that I was reading, and I just kind of put my own thoughts into it, but I shout out to one of my people that I follow on Twitter. Her name is Megan Byro. She speaks of leadership all the time on Twitter. So that's one of the reasons why I follow her. So I want to give credit where credit was due. I hope you all have thanks, Chris. I hope you all have a great afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow for again another one of my HR quick tips for you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.